Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. This is the English translation of the Majlis of HAZRATH MAULANA QAMAR SAHEB Damat Barakatuhum, which took place on Tuesday morning at Baitul Askar in Wasiabad, Allahabad, UP, India, Tuesday, the 28th of Sha'ban, 1444, corresponding with the English date, 21st of March 2023. Hazrat Wala starts off this Majlis by quoting the Surah of the Quran Majid, وَالتِّينِ وَالزَّيْتُونِ وَطُورِ سِينِينَ وَهَذَا الْبَلَدِ الْأَمِينَ لَقَدْ خَلَقْنَا الْإِنسَانَ فِي أَحْسَنِ تَقْوِيمٍ ثُمَّ رَدَدْنَاهُ أَسْفَلَ سَافِلِينَ إِلَّا الَّذِينَ آمَنُوا وَعَمِلُوا الصَّالِحَاتِ فَلَهُمْ أَجْرٌ غَيْرُ مَمْنُونٍ فَمَا يُكَذِّبُكَ بَعْدُ بِالدِّينِ أَلَيْسَ اللَّهُ بِأَحْكَمِ الْحَاكِمِينَ. Hazrat Wala is saying that you people, all of you know that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has prescribed and made obligatory on this ummah the fasting in the holy month of Ramadan. Now the Shan-e-Nuzul, the purpose of revealing that particular ayat, rather the goal, the objective, what needs to be achieved by fasting and keeping Roza, Siyam in the holy month of Ramadan is all in all so that we can become muttaqi and pious. And the Quran Majid, it is full of this here that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has spoken about a'mal, and thereafter side by side Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has spoken about jaza. Hazrat Sheikh Abdul Haq Muhaddis Delvi writes to the Sultanate of that time of the entire Indo-Pak subcontinent, Sheikh Farid, and he tells him, advising him that let your zahir and your batin be the same, tawafuq. It can't be that your outside is showing something and your inside is so far away from that. Another thing that he mentioned to him was that always keep in mind the adziyah, the rewards that Allah Ta'ala has promised for the various a'mal. And the third point that he mentioned was that always adopt ikhlas in your a'mal. Hazrat Sheikh Abdul Haq Muhaddis Delvi rahimahullah ta'ala gave this type of nasihat, but he gave it to the king of that time, Allahu Akbar. You know, Hazrat Maulana Shah Wasiullah Sahib used to say that Hazrat Mujaddid Al-Faythani, the ulama of Deoband speak very highly of him and he is often mentioned. However, he used to go on to say that Sheikh Abdul Haq Muhaddis Delvi ne koi kam kaam nahi kiya. He did not do any the less. His works and his contribution was as great. Now Islah is necessary in every era and in every time. Hazrat Umar radiyallahu ta'ala an, we all know about his grand and his great rule. But how much or how many of us really know about his amal? You know, a British Angrez once asked about Umar that tell me what is his interaction with children? And people then said to him, absolutely kind and compassionate. The children will be around him, playing in front of him, etc. When he said that, then what did this person remark who was asking the question? He said, no, then he's not hard, he's not harsh, rather he's absolutely compassionate and kind. And this outward harshness actually is because of the usul and the principles that he wanted to implement. Now today also, may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala create such people that can rule with justice. There was an incident of a king, Hazrat Wala is quoting, that he came on one occasion and he passed by a certain farmer's place. He was absolutely thirsty and he asked for something to drink. And this person then took the anar, pomegranate, and he squeezed it. And just by means of one full pomegranate, he managed to fill up a full glass of juice for this particular king. Nevertheless, he gave it to him the king enjoyed it, and at that time some thoughts came into his mind that what are these people doing here? They're having a good life, they're enjoying all of this here, we should most definitely put some tax upon them. Nevertheless, some long time passed, and after that, once again, this king passes by the same place, and he is in the same halat, and he's in the same condition of utter thirst. And then he comes, and it happens to be the same person again, and he asks for something to drink. But this time, one after the other, pomegranate after pomegranate, he carries on squeezing, and after he squeezes so many, only then it managed to fill up one glass of juice. To this, the king said, "But what's happening? Things are different. Things are not right as in the past." So the person then very humbly replied, he says that it seems that the king's intention has now become corrupt. It seems that the king's intention has now become corrupt. So adl, insaf, muhabbat, ulfat, this is how people in authority and power rule. So it was justice, it was not harshness, it was justice, and in such a way, otherwise children would have not been playing around him. Ittaqillaha haythuma kunta, fear Allah wherever you may be. Allah Ta'ala give us the tawfiq and the hidayat of making amal on these teachings. So here Allah Subhanahu wa Ta'ala is saying, by the fig and the olive, by Mount Sinai, by this peaceful city, undoubtedly we created man in the best form. Thereafter we relegated him to the lowest of low, except those who believe and who carry out good deeds. Theirs shall be a reward that will never come to an end. What is it then that makes you deny the judgment day? Is Allah not the wisest of the wise? Allahu Akbar. So Allah Ta'ala swears by the fig and the olive, both of which are blessed fruit and extremely beneficial. Referring to the olive tree in Surah Nur, Allah Ta'ala says the blessed tree of the olive. Thereafter, Allah Subhanahu wa Ta'ala takes an oath by Mount Sinai. It is the same mount that Allah Ta'ala refers to in verse 20 of Surah Mu'minun, that this was the mount where Allah Subhanahu wa Ta'ala spoke to Sayyidina Musa alayhi salatu wassalam. Allah Ta'ala then takes an oath by the peaceful city, the city of Makkah, just as the subjects of the previous 3 verses are blessed, and therefore the fourth is also blessed because it contains the Kaaba, which Allah says in Surah Al Imran that it is blessed and a guidance for mankind. Now, Hazrat Maulana, we speak about لَقَدْ خَلَقْنَا الْإِنسَانَ فِي أَحْسَنِ تَقْوِيمٍ, that we created man in the best form. Hazrat Maulana Shah Wasiullah Sahib used to look for these type of ulum and articles, and he used to go deep into all of this here. And then he would come and he found it in one of the tafsirs, I think it is in Mazhari, that in the best of forms, he says, if you study the animal kingdom, by and large, majority of the animals, you would find them when they are walking, when they are on their fours, then you would see that the face is hanging down. Whereas Allah Ta'ala has created insan in such a manner that he is always facing the person that is in front of him without his head being faced down to the earth, unless he purposely or specifically does that himself. And this is the unique and the great point of Jannah. In Jannah, no matter where you sit and what you do, there'll never ever be mudabarat. You'll never ever be facing your backs to the people. This is one of the unique and salient features of Jannah, that there will always be muwajahat. And we can relate to this here, because in the dunya, one of the great points of ahsan taqweem is muwajahat, where a person will be face to face with another person. So Allah Ta'ala uses the terminology in the Quran Majid that ala sururim mutaqabilin, that they will be on these sofas and couches mutaqabilin, facing one another. Even if they have to face this way or that way, Allah Ta'ala has made this ni'mat so unique in Jannah that at every given point in time, whichever way they have to turn their chairs, there will be no mudabarat whatsoever. So this is the speciality of Jannah. Hazrat Maulana Shah Muhammad Ahmad Sahib, he had a unique way of seating people. That, okay, no, you come, you don't sit there, you come and you sit here. And nevertheless, he had his ajib style in that he would not want anyone to sit in front of me. Hazrat Wala is saying that was, the great love of Hazrat Maulana Muhammad Ahmad Sahib. And he would say that, no, move from here, Maulana is sitting here. Nevertheless, the Buzrug, our saintly, pious predecessors, they learned these adabs. They learned these adabs and they even taught it. So, a person who is working, he'll work, he's anticipating, and he will get his reward. But look how uniquely Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala words it here, and that's the reality as well, that فَلَهُمْ أَجْرٌ غَيْرُ مَمْنُونَ. Theirs, meaning their reward, shall be such a reward that will never come to an end. It will never come to an end. Allahu Akbar. Such it is that when a person is going on journey, Allah then will still give him the same reward as a resident. A person would be sick, he's unable to do, but Allah Ta'ala, out of His mercy and His shafqat, Allah Ta'ala will give the person the same reward as being whole and hearty, healthy, without his any interruption coming in the reward that He normally would give him upon the deeds that he would carry out. So, insan is fani, but Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is baqi, and He will give the rewards. Umar bin Abdul Aziz also was a great ruler. In his initial years before becoming the Khalifa, etc., he used to have his own style. It is written in the kitabs, however it was. He would walk so much so that even women folk would come and see that how is he walking, and they would try to want to see that how is he walking, and they would want to walk like that. But after that, what type of a khilafat he had and how he ruled, what taqwa and taharat, etc., it is absolutely amazing. The hadith of Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam says, "Ala inna lillahi fi ardihi awani, wa hiya al-qulub, wa ahabbu al-awani ila Allah ta'ala asfaha wa aslabuha wa araqquha." Most definitely, behold, for Allah, in His land there are utensils, and they are the hearts. And the most beloved of these utensils, meaning those hearts, to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala are the ones that are completely pure, and they are most firm, and they are most soft. So no government there is ever that can ever promise you such a reward that will never ever come to an end. Alaysa Allahu bi ahkamil hakimin? Is Allah not the wisest of the wise? Allahu Akbar. So Allah Ta'ala has taken these 4 oaths and qasams to emphasize that undoubtedly we created man in the best form. The intelligence and understanding of man is far greater than any other creation. Man is physically more good looking than any other creation, is able to speak better, and has much more developed way of life. His behavior and mannerisms are also much more refined. Man has 2 arms, 2 legs, and is taller than most creatures. The features of his face are also most attractive, as are his limbs. He is able to exercise fine motor control over his limbs and can accomplish delicate work as well as exert brute force. Allah Ta'ala has granted him beauty in every part of his body, and even the little parts of the body like the teeth and the eyes sparkle. His hair and his beard enhance his beauty further. Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, "Pure is the being who has beautified men with their beards and women with their long hair." Men with their beards and women with their long hair. So this Ahkamul Hakimin, the wisest of the wise, is Allah not the wisest of the wise? Should we not bring full iman in Ahkamul Hakimin, the wisest of the wise? Should we not try and please the wisest of the wise, Ahkamul Hakimin, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala? Once you do that, once you make him happy, then nobody can then touch you and harm you in any way, because your dealing with him is done and is correct. Meaning for the akhirat, everything will be smooth sailing for you, no matter what people do to you here. So Allah Ta'ala speaks about the reward of the month of Ramadan, and that is taqwa. I am saying all of this here, and I decided to speak on this topic and direct it in this particular angle and direction, so that we can all become thirsty, sha'iq, enthusiastic for the holy month of Ramadan. Hazrat Maulana Shah Wasiullah Sahib used to speak of Hazrat Shah Muhammad Hussain ALAHBADI, about how he used to recite Quran and his wazaif, etc. What about the wazaif and the practices of Hazrat Raipuri, Hazrat Sheikh Zakaria, etc.? Have you read Akabir ke Ramadan? Have you listened to it? Have you asked someone to read it for you? This is what we have to do. I had also had it recited, and we had read it in the past as well. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala give us all afiyat. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala give us the tawfiq and the hidayat of making qadr of the holy month of Ramadan. It is a great, unique, most honorable and most sacred month. Allah Ta'ala give us the tawfiq and the hidayat of keeping this in our minds. People have come from far and wide. Allah Ta'ala keep this silsila and this unique system that we have here continuous. Rather, Allah Ta'ala give it progress. Allah give us the tawfiq and the hidayat of appreciating it as well through the tufail and the sadaqah, the barakat of the Quran Majid. The holy month of the Ramadan, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala make our maghfirat and admit us into Jannatul Firdaus. Wherever people are and they have great hopes and they have so much of yaqeen in the month of Ramadan and in the Quran, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala bless them with the fuyuz and the barakat of the Quran Majid. ربنا تقبل منا إنك أنت السميع العليم وتب علينا إنك أنت التواب الرحيم بحرمة سيد النبي الكريم صلى الله عليه وسلم.